We've had the very slightest rain shower while the karts have been sitting on the grid. We are just 1 minute away from the start of the KZ2 final here in Sweden. The championship is most certainly on the line. The green flag flies. And in 25 laps time, we will know who is the KZ2 European champion for 2017. Leon Kohler leads the title coming into this final race of the series. The German on 47 points. Second in the series is Ippolito, but he has not had a good run so far here this weekend and will need a miracle to claim the title. He starts a long way back on the grid. Paolo Ippolito, the 15th row in fact. Starting out of pole position, the French driver, Tom Louet, alongside Riccardo Longhi. Matteo Vigano, who won the first round of the series, is alongside the driver from Gothenburg in Sweden, Alex Dahlberg, Chalenta Van Leven, Jean Louet, Alessio Piccini, Rokas Pachuska, Adrien Renaudin, Alex Irlando on the 7th row of the grid, alongside the Brazilian Gaetano Di Mauro. There's Ippolito back on grid 29. Well, if he's going to claim the European Championship here this afternoon, he is second in the series. He will need nothing less than a miracle here this afternoon. Orianta and Abdullah Al-Rawahi from Oman round out the final row of the grid. Leon Kohler, the German, leads the series, as I said, but he's back on grid number 18. In the 332 KSM Schumacher Racing Tony Kart. A slight shower while the karts were sitting on the grid. All the field do still have the wet tyres on though. As they complete another formation lap, desperate to try and get some heat into those Bridgestone Racing rubber. So Tom Louet, 306 from France in the French Sodi kart, alongside Riccardo Longhi, the Italian, in the 358 Birol Art. Matteo Vigano, 301. He would have almost guaranteed himself the title had the race been 1 lap shorter in Le Mans. He dominated on that day in France and had a freak failure on the very final lap, was looking to make it 2 from 2. But got 0 points out of the French race. Vigano, 4th in the points on 40 points. In fact, the best result will virtually guarantee the title because very little separates the first 5 coming into the championship. Kohler, Ippolito 2nd, Alex Irlando 3rd, the Italian, Vigano 4th, and Tom Louet 5th in the series, but starts this one out of pole position. Alex Irlando, the Italian, 3rd in the championship last year. He actually holds the lap record around this Swedish circuit. So Tom Louet also in contention for the title, and he starts this one on pole position. From Genk in Belgium, Le Mans in France, we find ourselves Kristianstad here in southern Sweden. The KZ2 European Championship is about to come alive. The sun comes out to shine. We are ready to race here in the south of this Scandinavian nation. Louet, 306 to the left of your screen, the green flag from the back of the grid. Watch Longhi in the Birol Art off the start. They're being held a long time. We wait for Francesco Iacovacci at the back of the grid. We are green in Sweden. Massive wheel spin. And Alex Dahlberg, the driver from Gothenburg here in Sweden, a good start from the 2nd row of the grid. Martin van Leven rockets off the line in the energy kart, but he got boxed in with nowhere to go. They go down into the hairpin for the first time. One kart has spun in the chicane. A good start by Adrien Renaudin. There is Van Leven, the energy kart, up into P3. Look how treacherous it is here in Sweden. Down the inside goes the Tony Kart. Vigano, 4th in the series, 4th on the road. There is still rooster tail spray here in Sweden. Standing water on the circuit after that very brief Rain showers, Renaudin goes up the inside. The two Birillard carts touch. Sorry, it was the Birillard and the Soddy cart of Louay. Renaudin in the blue cart that looks like it's come from outer space. The CPB Sports Soddy cart is the race leader. Louay and Vigano go wheel to wheel. Van Leven, the Dutchman, says thanks very much. He moves up into second. The CRG around the outside. Is that the Brazilian? Indeed it is. Gaetano Di Mauro. A brilliant start from the boy from Brazil. From the 7th row of the grid, he will come across the line in P4. So let's check the order. Renaudin, Van Leven, Vigano P3, Piccini in the second. Tony Kart is 4th. Dalberg, De Mauro, slowed down the straight that time. He actually missed a gear. He's 6th. Then it's Longy, Louay, Jean Louay, and the Spaniard Chebrienne. We go back to Leon Cola, the championship leader in P16. Where is Alex Mirlando? I'm looking at the screen. He's down in position 32 at the back of the field. A disaster for the Italian. Needs to pass another 31 carts if he's to win here this afternoon in the remaining 24 laps. Renaudin, the French driver, he was actually pretty impressive in the final heat this morning, giving us a glimpse of what he's got. He's not even on the screen. You look at the two Tony carts, Vigano and Piccini, they're running 3 and 4. Then we go to Di Mauro, Dalberg, the Swede in the Birillard. Remember, Ricardo Longhi and Van Leven has gone wide. You just saw him coming back onto the straight. He will recover and still stay in P2. Yes, Ricardo Longhi and Alex Dalberg as Dalberg goes down the inside and takes Piccini. Nice move by the driver from Gothenburg, but Di Mauro around the outside of both of them. Awesome stuff from the brilliant Brazilian. The CAG up into P3, being hassled immediately by the Tony Kart. He takes the high line. That is Vigano in 3:01. Piccini behind in 3:07. Very treacherous conditions. Van Leven ran wide, but he did recover for P2, and he sets about catching Renaudin, who just hit the fastest first sector of the race. Vigano, Di Mauro, they're side by side, the Tony Kart versus the CRG. How many times have we seen that battle over the years? The Brazilian takes the Italian. There's Dalberg, the yellow helmet, the red and white Birillard. Piccini struggling for traction. Vigano tries the outside. Oh, they touch. The Birillard now versus Vigano. We're trying to keep the championship updated for you at this early stage of the race. Vigano would take the title, albeit only just if he can finish right there. He takes the high line. He gets the traction. Van Leven goes through. Renaudin, he has disappeared. He is 5.5 seconds up the road. Evrard, Chebrian, Bachuska. There's Axel Bankston going through ahead of the fastest qualifier, Jean Louay. Leon Cola, he's lost another spot. Championship leader coming into this one, the driver from Frankfurt in Germany, down in position 17. Good recovery now from Dalberg. There is De Mauro, fresh out of the Brazilian Stock Car Series. He is a superstar in that spectacular touring car racing championship in South America. Great to see him racing the European Championships. As he goes up the inside, will Van Leven get him on the way back? They go side by side. Van Leven struggling for traction. The Energy Car versus the CRG. The Brazilian now up into second. They're side by side. Oh, they touch. De Mauro out in the grass. He recovers. We just told you he races the Brazilian Stock Car Championship, and you just saw why he's so good in that series. That was a stock car style move, something straight out of Talladega Nights. The Brazilian and the Dutchman, they look at each other down the straight. We're in the dry. When the track does dry out, they will kiss 141 k's an hour. So De Mauro still in second spot. Adrien Renaudin, the CPB Sports Soddy Kart, is 9 seconds up the road. He is giving them a driving lesson here in the rain in Sweden. De Mauro in P2, Van Leven, P3, 3 different manufacturers in the top 3. 5 different ones in the top 5 because the Viral Art of Dalberg is 4th. Vigano in the Tony Kart is P5. As it stands, Vigano would take the title from Cola and Ippolito. Alex Irlando also in contention for the title, but stuck back in traffic in position number 25. That is your race leader. What a spectacular looking kart. And it's working superbly here. 336. TM powered Sodi kart across the line. Absolute magic around the Kristianstad circuit. Renaudin has got more than the length of the start-finish straight on this battle for second place. The fight is on for the championship. This would actually put Renaudin into the top 10 in the series after a disappointing couple of opening rounds. As Demaro goes down the inside, watch Van Leven on the exit. The Brazilian tries to cover him off, but doesn't have the engine RPM at that point. Up over the rise. Into the left-hander. 60 k's an hour through that corner in the drive, much less than that now. The CRG down the inside. The Brazilian stock car star takes the Dutchman. Van Leven fights back. The Energy Kart, the team from Bergamo, run by Mick Punnegaard. They are 13 times European champion. Their driver, Van Leven, second on the road, currently 4th in the championship. Di Mauro in the CRG, starting to be caught ever so slightly by Alexander Dalberg. De Mauro retakes him. The gap between these two drivers running in second and third with barely a quarter of the race run is now 11 seconds. There's Dalberg. The virtual championship, you can see Vigano currently in P5. The driver from Milan would just clinch the title if he were to finish currently, as he is, in position number 5. Irlando, 4th in the series on the road. He's stuck down in position 22. Guess who he's behind? One spot ahead of the Italian is the German Leon Kohler, who's having a disastrous run here this afternoon. Kohler, we wait for him, 21st on the road. There he comes. He's one spot behind Brandon Nielsen, who's doing a superb job this weekend racing with his right arm. That's the hand he uses to change gears. In a plaster cast, he's got broken bones in his right hand. He is on painkillers. He is in absolute agony. The driver from just down the road in nearby Malmo, driving superbly. Out of the 60 drivers here this weekend, Brandon Nielsen now inside the top 20. What's more, he's ahead of Pula and Irlando, who are fighting for the championship. The race leader, Adrien Renaudin. Not only does that kart look spectacular, it looks like something from outer space, but it's certainly very quick around this 1.2 kilometre Kristianstad circuit here in Sweden. Francesco Celenta just outside the top 10. Second fastest qualifier, winner of a couple of heats. Sits in behind the DR team kart driver, Max Paul, the driver from Dresden. And Alessio Piccini rounds out the top 10. Well, Adrien Renaudin had a great run in the final heat this morning. He was there or thereabouts in the first 3 heats in changeable wet conditions. He has found a magic trick and he's giving these drivers a lesson here in Kristianstad. He comes across the line now. Demaro in second spot is still to approach the final hairpin. Renaudin's going through the turn 3 chicane down towards the turn 4 hairpin, and just now that's Demaro in second spot. The gap 14 seconds, and Renaudin with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:11.309, 1 second faster than the Brazilian last time round. There's Van Leven, 5th in the opening round of the series at Genk in Belgium. was very disappointed not to make the podium at that his home race, even though it was in Belgium and he is a Dutchman. It's just over the border in Genk. He's looking at a podium here this afternoon. The Brazilian on screen, De Mauro is skipping away though. Further back in the field, Filippo Berto in the Biro Art Kart has just looped, done a full 360 but has rejoined. He's way down the field, just behind the driver from Oman, Abdullah Al-Arawahi. Tom Louet started from pole position. What has happened to the Frenchman? Well, out of the 34 starters, he is the only retirement, and that is the end of his European Championship. Just over 1/3 race distance, Martin van Leeuwen in the Energy Course kart. The Saudi kart with the CRG in second. Of course, the CRG team dominated at the World Championships held at this circuit 12 months ago, where they took out not only the World Championship, the KZ, but the KZ2 International Super Cup. The CRG of the Brazilian De Mauro working really well in the top three consistently throughout the heat. Remember, he came from grid number 14 in this race. He would have been much higher, but he did cop a 10-second penalty for a drop nose cone in his third heat yesterday afternoon. Renaudin just superb, down through the gearbox. Look at how he aggressively attacks the wheel. That Saudi kart is just sticking to the bitumen. He is so much faster than every other driver on the track. He's putting 1.5 seconds on virtually every other pilot here in Sweden. Last time round, a 1:11.5 for Renaudin. Last time round for the driver on screen, the Brazilian, a 1:12 dead. So he's half a second faster than the driver in second, let alone every other driver down the field. Dahlberg from Gothenburg on the west coast of Sweden holds down position number 4 to starting on grid number 3, one step off the podium in the Birol Art. Paul Everard now up into the top 5 in the Tony kart. Brilliant drive also by the second Frenchman. He has come from the clouds. He has come from, well, let's tell you exactly, the 14th row of the grid, grid number 28. What did the French drivers have for breakfast this morning? Renaudin from grid 10 leads with an enormous margin, 16 seconds, and we haven't even approached half race distance. Second place to Mauro, Van Leeuwen, Dahlberg, Paul Everard, the 349 kart across the line in position 5 came from grid number 28. Absolutely flying is Paul. Even more impressive given that he had a spectacular engine failure during free practice on Thursday afternoon. Van Leeuwen struggling for traction but still holding down P3, the final step of the podium. The Brazilians with a long and distinguished heritage in world motorsport. Of course, De Mauro racing in the Brazilian Stock Car Championship, going wheel to wheel with the likes of João Vieira, Rubens Barrichello, also the likes of Max Wilson. He's a superstar back in his home country. And he's running in second here today for the CRG team. Paul Everard in P5, closing in on the back of Dahlberg also. There is Renaudin. No surprise to see he set another fastest lap of the race. He is the only driver into the 110s. Everyone else 111 or above. Not only that, his best lap, a 110.6. He is more than half a second faster than every other driver on the circuit. He passes half race distance now. He will start lapping karts before he gets to the checkered flag at this rate. That is something unheard of in CIK European competition. He's just done that. Getting past the first of the back markers, we say with respect. Orianto, the Finnish driver, currently running in P30. We've had 4 retirements. Filippo Berto, after that spin, joins Tom Louet, Axel Bankston, and Abdullah Al-Arawahi on the sidelines. What a magnificently presented kart this is. CPB Sport competition called des Allianz from Central France. The leader's coming up behind lap traffic now. The blue flag is out. Renaudin closing in on the back of the Finn Ojaranta. Well, that slight shower before the start of the race. Look how the kart works. It turns in, inside rear, skips off the ground, correction on opposite lock. Spectacular stuff. This is the fastest Soddy kart in these wet conditions. Coming up behind lap traffic now. Would you believe it? The driver he just passed right then, the 365 Tony kart, was that of the fastest qualifier, Jean Louet. The driver from Switzerland, from Savières at the foot of Mont Blanc, pulls into pit lane. His race is over. There is Renaudin. Comes up over the rise, looking at a spectacular victory here this afternoon. De Mauro still holds down position number 2. There is certainly now a dry line, but handling these KZ2 road racing rocket ships around this 1.2 kilometre Kristianstad Sweden circuit is no mean feat. The inside rear skips off the ground. He just puts his foot down, grabs another gear, and traction comes from the Soddy kart of the Frenchman. De Mauro, 18 seconds further down, back behind him. Van Leven still in P3. Dalberg, Jacobacci, the Italian now up into P5. So the brilliant run of Paul Evrard has hit the metaphorical brick wall because he's just been passed by Jacobacci. The conditions are now changing. Max Tuben, the Dutchman, also getting involved. He's just passed Evrard. So Paul Evrard from grid 28 got up to 5th and is now back to 7th, having been passed by the Lenzo Kart team driver, Francesco Jacobacci, who is actually 9th in the championship at the moment. The beautiful rolling countryside of southern Sweden. And if we look out towards the horizon, towards Denmark, the sky is getting ever so darker. Yellow flag is out at the far part of the circuit for Brandon Nielsen. He has gone around but restarted. And he's about to be passed by second place Gaetano Di Mauro. The race leader, Renaudin, just pulls past the second energy kart entry of Isaac Skokvist, who's still running. Down in position number 28, Jean Louet has now retired from fastest qualifier in the limelight on Friday night. His race is over. Skokvist pulls into pit lane also. Renaudin is picking them off one by one. He is giving them a driving lesson here in Sweden this afternoon. He now comes up behind the driver from Norway, in Erik Rishmur. Up over the rise, the blue flag is out. The Norwegian will have to give him space. He looks behind him. He knows the race leader is there. And he does the right thing and pulls over and lets Adrien Renaudin go through and continue on with 8 laps to go of the KZ2 European Championship. Let's go back to the title chase. Matteo Vigano in the early part of the race was going to take the championship. He has faded. Matteo from Milan down in 17th. As it stands, Leon Kohler would take the title. The German has dragged his way up into position number 13. It's nothing to write home about, but as it stands, he could well take the title. Incredibly, Paolo Ippolito, second in the series. Ippolito now up into position number 11. This is spectacular stuff. The rain shower has sorted out the European Championship here this afternoon. Renaudin comes up behind the German, Daniel Stell, in the Mach 1 car. Renaudin not happy that the fact that the driver from just outside Stuttgart did not give him enough racing room, at least that's what he thought. Stell knew he was there, he pulled over, he did do the right thing. Great to see the Mach 1 chassis back in action in CIK International competition. Look at the replay. I think the problem was Renaudin came up on him so fast. Oh, the Frenchman not happy, gives him away. He was so quick to close in on the back of the young German that Stell didn't have time to get out the way. Kohler in P13 has just done the fastest second sector of the entire race. He's down in position 13 between the two Swedes, Benjamin Törnqvist and Emil Skarras. 13th, normally that would be a miserable result. However, if he can hold on for another 6 laps, it will be Leon Kohler to claim the KZ2 European Championship. Renaudin is giving them a driving lesson here this afternoon. Di Mauro from Brazil still holds down P2. Van Leeuwen still in 3rd. Iacovacci is 6th. Ippolito is now 11th from the back of the grid. Remember, the driver from Tuscany who won at Le Mans, we thought his championship was over. He lost an engine in one of the heats yesterday afternoon. He had a dreadful run, only 27th quickest in qualifying. He is now in contention for the title. If anything happens to the German Kohler, Ippolito will be the 2017 European champion. Irlando is in 3rd spot in the series chase. He's also on 42 points. The driver who was 3rd in the series last year, Alex Irlando. Renaudin absolutely dominant. Vigano has braided back to position 18. Irlando in 22nd spot. Ippolito down in 14th. 42 points for both the Italians, Ippolito and Irlando. Vigano would collect 41 points. He would be 4th in the series. Leon Kohler for KSM Schumacher Racing down in position 12. He's just got past Emil Skarras. He now comes up on the back of Benjamin Törnqvist. He will take the title if he can hang on for another 6 laps. Adrien Renaudin, another fastest first sector. However, Max Tuben in P4 has just set the fastest lap of the race. Finally, somebody has a response for the French driver. Max Tuben in the 324 CRG in position number 4. Can he get himself up onto the podium? The Dutch drivers run in P3 and 4. Here's Renaudin. Comes up, puts a lap on Petra Patacek. And that is Alex Irlando. Can you believe it? 3rd in the series and about to be lapped by the race leader from France for CPB Sport, Adrien Renaudin. Petra Patacek in the Formula K kart. The blue flag is out for him. They come up over the rise. Nothing silly now for Renaudin. He can afford to wait. He's got an enormous lead of 18 seconds. Patacek does need to pull over. Renaudin just waits for the opportunity. He now takes Irlando. Surely that is the end of the Italians Championship right there. There are 5 laps now remaining. Kart 2nd in the KZ World Championships at this circuit last year, with Anthony Abbas leading and looking at a race win here this afternoon. Down the inside, the lap traffic, Renaudin picks off both the Czech driver and the Italian. Goes through. Chalenta, meanwhile, in position 8, has just set the fastest lap of the race. So the track is definitely improving. The order is Renaudin on screen, Di Mauro, Van Leeuwen and Tuben. The Dutchman run 3 and 4. Then it's Alex Dalberg who rounds out the 5, Iacovacci in 6, and look at that, position number 12. That will secure the title for Leon Kohler of KSM Schumacher Racing if he can hold on for another 3.5 laps. He's into 12th. trying to get past Benjamin Tonquist. Tonquist just a couple of seconds up the road. Kula, who dominated the opening round of the series at Genk in Belgium until we got to the final, finished off the podium, was eventually awarded third place. When Longy was given a 10-second penalty for a drop nose cone, he got the points there. He got points out of Le Mans, and he's looking at not many points here this afternoon, but enough to take the 2017 European Championship. Renaudin, this drive will put him 8th in the series. Kola currently stands on 47 points. Ippolito 42, also Irlando 42, but we just saw him get lapped. Patacek pulls into pit lane. His race is over. We are down to 20 runners. The gap is actually down to 16 seconds. I do realise there are only 3 laps to go, but that tells you the track is drying. Gaetano Di Mauro from Brazil in P2 has taken 2 seconds out of Renaudin. That CPB Sport Soddy Kart is hooked up and flying. Next in line for the Frenchman, would you believe it, Matteo Vigano, down in position number 20, winner of the opening round of the series. You just saw him at the bottom of your screen. He goes through and is lapped. The race leader, Adrien Renaudin from France, has just lapped Matteo Vigano, who was the favourite for the title after winning in Genk, after dominating much of the Le Mans race, down in position number 20. He's 4th in the series. That is effectively the end of his championship. Renaudin, 2 laps now to go for the French driver. Through the chicane. There is something magical about that kart. Let's give the driver some credit as well. Treacherous conditions. We all know that rain is the great equaliser. We had a rain shower during the podium for the junior class. It lasted no longer than about 45 seconds. Well, Adrien Renaudin must have known something. A quiet run through the heats. He played one of his cards this morning with a great run into the top 3, but we were not expecting this. He has dominated the KZ2 final here this afternoon. His lead over the Brazilian is 16 seconds. Comes into the tightest part of the circuit. Into the hairpin now. And he will get the last lap board this time across the line. You just saw Chalenta set the fastest lap of the race down into 1:09s. Not real quick, but it is fast considering the track conditions. There is now a dry line out there. Adrien Renaudin looking at the biggest win of his career here at the final round of the KZ2 European Championships. Leon Kohler in P12. If he can hold on for another lap, he will be the European champion for 2017. He's going through the back part of the circuit now behind the Swede Benjamin Tonquist. The KSM Schumacher team driver, we knew he was in contention for the championship, but we didn't think a 12th place finish would do it. Paulo Ippolito, Alex Irlando second in the points on 42. Nobody is going to stop Adrien Renaudin. He goes through the tight technical part of the original Kristianstad circuit. No more lap traffic for the Soddy Kart CPB Sport Team driver. He goes into the hairpin for the final time, down through the gearbox. Turns in, this kart is hooked up here in Sweden. The checkered flag comes out. The driver from France, Adrien Renaudin, has dominated and wins the final round of the European Championship. We wait for the second place driver. It is indeed the 355 CRG. He comes up to the line now. It is the boy from Brazil, Gaetano Di Mauro, who comes second here in Sweden. He will stand on the second step of the podium. Van Leven flashes across the line. The Dutchman is third. Who will win the championship? Leon Kohler down in position number 12. Can he do it? This is nail-biting stuff. We wait for the German. Everard crosses the line. Lubert He needs to get to the line. Ladies and gentlemen, the new European champion provisionally just crossed the line now. That is Leon Kohler. He has just provisionally won the KZ2 European Championship for 2017. And incredibly, he did it with a 12th place finish. Unbelievable stuff. Paolo Ippolito finished in 15th in this incredible race here in Sweden. Claims equal second in the championship with Alex Irlando, who did not finish as was classified in 23rd. Who was expecting that? Adrien Renaudin has dominated here this afternoon. Easily the best presented kart here in Sweden, and certainly the fastest KZ2 machine here at Kristianstad. Renaudin absolutely delighted. Punches the air, makes his way back to pit lane. And there, the virtual championship, Leon Kohler for KSM Schumacher Racing is the 2017 European champion. Just 5 points ahead of Paolo Ippolito and his countrymen, Alex Irlando. They were tied for second on 42 points. Fourth, Matteo Vigano, 41 points, and Tom Louet, fifth in the series. Third place on the podium puts Martijn van Leeuwen into sixth in the series. And that win this afternoon by Adrien Renaudin, the CPB Sport. He is eighth in this year's European Championship. Probably wishing it was a double points round here in Sweden. Renaudin has dominated. Di Mauro in P2 and Martijn van Leeuwen rounds out the three. Who was expecting that? Well, the competition Paul Bizalion team, they certainly knew something. On this very tricky Kristianstad circuit, Renaudin has won the final round of the European Series, but Leon Kohler provisionally is the 2017 KZ2 European champion. We will have the podium presentation for you in a moment, live on CIKFIA.tv from here at Kristianstad in southern Sweden. What an incredible race here on a drying track. The French driver, Adrien Renaudin, has given them a driving lesson here this afternoon, dominating, winning by 16 seconds. Three different manufacturers in the top three. Renaudin in the Sodi Kart, the Brazilian in the CRG, and Van Leeuwen, the Dutchman, in the Energy Kart, rounds out the podium. Provisionally, we believe Leon Kohler, with that 12th place finish, has claimed the championship for 2017. Who would have predicted that coming into the final round? A 12th place finish would win the European Championship. Of course, we still do have one final to come this afternoon for the OK Direct Drive class. The title is also on the line in that one. There is just a dry line on the circuit. Hopefully, the rain showers do hold off and we can race that on a dry track. It will be spectacular. Immediately to follow the podium presentation here in a few moments' time. Renaudin for Paul Bizaglion's team, absolutely dominated. Van Leven makes his way up to the podium, as does the Brazilian. Great to see a smile on his face. And we wait for the race winner, Adrien Renaudin. The OK Karts making their way out onto the grid for the championship decider in a few moments' time. So the CPB Sport Sodi Kart team. What a brilliant, dominant display by Adrien Renaudin. We will see him on the podium in a few moments. We will hear the French national anthem ring out here in Sweden in a few moments' time. The drivers are just about to make their way up onto the podium. The Bridgestone caps go on. And we're ready to proceed with the KZ2 podium for the European Series final here this afternoon in Sweden. In third place, from the Netherlands, driving for the Energy Course team, let's hear it for Martijn van Leven. Second place in the CRG, the boy from Brazil, Gaetano Di Mauro. An incredible drive by the Frenchman this afternoon. He has won the final round of the European Series for CPB Sport Sodi Kart from France. The race winner, Adrien Renaudin. And representing the winning team, CPB Sport, Mr. Paul Bizaglion. As we stand by for the national anthem of France. I would like to call on Mr. Christopher Lindberg, Secretary of the Swedish Karting Commission, to present the third place trophy to Martijn van Leven. Mr. Stefan Andersson, Chairman of the Board of the Swedish Karting Commission, to present the second place trophy to Brazilian Gaetano Di Mauro. Vice President of the CIK FIA, Mr. Kees van der Grent, to present the race-winning trophy to Adrien Renaudin. And Mr. Jorgen Andersen representing the host, the Kristianstad Karting Club, to present the winning team's trophy to Mr. Paul Bizalion of CPB Sport. As the girls step in to present the flowers to Martin Gaetano and Adrienne. And we stand by for the champagne. The girls now to step in and make the special presentation of the Avio Milano timepieces and the Panta fuel vouchers to Martin Gaetano and Adrienne. And we step in for a quick word. Firstly, with third place Martin van Leven. Martin, let's go back to Genk. We know you were disappointed to miss out on the podium. Difficult conditions. You've made up for it this afternoon here in Sweden.
Well, it has been a really difficult weekend for us. First day was really fast, then we struggled just with the speed. Chassis felt fine, just the lap time wasn't coming. Yeah, now I had a great start. First few laps was really good, and then in the end I started to get the pressure from Tubber, but I still made it to P3, so first podium of the year.
Congratulations, Martin. Second place here today. You know it's coming. The boy from Brazil. Brilliant drive, Gaetano Di Mauro. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really happy. The team did a good job. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Gaetano Di Mauro, second place for CRG. Very emotional up here on the podium. Adrienne Renaudin, you gave them a driving lesson. Absolutely dominant this afternoon. Incredible drive. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. The track was difficult, but I changed my line and that works. The chassis and the engine was perfect. I want to thank CPB Sport, Kart and Galifa.
Merci, Adrienne. This is our podium for KZ2. Third place, Martin van Leuven. Second place, Gaetano Di Mauro. And what a drive by the race winner, Adrienne Renaudin. We have decided 3 titles here this afternoon. 1 is left to race. The OK European Championship final race in just a few moments.